brain ain't working.
I'm telling you. Good morning, y'all. This is Clay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, all right.
I'm pretty sure.
And I am the much older brother. Much older brother. Lloyd, how are we doing today, Clay?
And this is Iron Sharpening Iron with the Kahler Boys. Hey, this isn't Thursday.
I know.
Wait. We do these on Thursday.
Yeah, well, Thursday.
This is Saturday.
Thursday we had
Thursday isn't Saturday.
We had operator error.
Yeah, our editor apparently had failed to charge up our little fancy microphone.
You know, I called him a bad name.
Yeah?
Yeah. He was a dumb,
something.
Bottom.
Yeah.
Dumb hiney.
Right.
You know, because somebody asked me, they said, where's your podcast? I said, well, the editor, I said, we're probably going to reduce his pay or cut his pay in half.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a dumb fellow.
So we were about halfway through.
Oh, I think we were more than that.
Yeah, a little more than halfway through, and both our microphones died at the same time. And then we discovered it and turned off the microphones and went to normal audio. But
well, we didn't really know how much we had lost because you had looked at me and said, "Hey, your light's off."
Yeah,
that was our first indication.
Yeah.
It may have been off for 2 minutes, and we didn't know at this time.
Right.
Or it may have been off. It may have been only on for 2 minutes. So, but after the review of the podcast, we had about 6 minutes in there that was uninterrupted. We're redoing it, man. We're redoing it. We're Saturday morning. I pretty much normal for me. I just got off work.
Right.
Come in. Absolute uneventful evening in the parking lot.
There you go.
That's the way I like it.
So just before I hit record on here, I asked you, are you ready for this winter storm?
Yeah, well, I'm not. Let me look. I'm going to look. We got these. You know, somebody once said when we were children that information is knowledge.
Yeah.
That was false.
It depends on the information.
We have at our fingertips. You ask me anything.
Right.
You can ask me something I don't even know how to spell or pronounce. And if you can just help me out, you don't even have to spell it right. You can get close.
Right.
The phone to figure out what we're nearly trying to say.
Yeah.
Give me some options. Oh, yeah, that's it. Click on it, and we can learn all about it.
Sure.
But it did not make this generation smarter.
No. As a matter of fact, I've heard one guy say that smartphones are dumbing us down.
Well, I've said that for years, and here's what my first clue was.
569-2655.
Yes. 569-2812.
Yeah.
That was the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
I knew everybody's number.
That's right. You knew everybody's phone number by head.
Now,
I don't even know the prefix of your phone number.
Now, those two are the only phone numbers I know.
Yeah.
And I never call them. I know that because they're ingrained in my brain from when we used to.
Right.
But we did. If I met somebody new.
Yeah.
Or, hey, man, give me a call. What's your number? I didn't have to have a pen. I work construction. Not all the time do we have a pen and paper. We might have had a crayon or a lumber pencil or something, a stick of wood, but that's probably going to lose it. But anyway, you would tell it to me.
Right.
And I'd say it back 2 or 3 times. I'd have it.
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
Yeah.
And that was back in the partying days. But I was locked in and I could remember your number.
Right.
I remember during my first marriage, my wife would say, hey, what's so-and-so's number? Because she knew I was a walking telephone book, literally.
Right.
I knew everybody's number and could recall at any moment.
Yeah.
Hold on. No, that's 569 and spit it on out. Whatever it was, I knew it. I knew them numbers. If I had called it more than a couple times, it was there.
Yeah.
And now
that's not the case.
Those two are the only numbers.
Now all I got to do is click on your face.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no clue what your number is.
I don't know.
If I ever got locked up, I wouldn't know how to call you.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. I think that the last numbers of yours is 9800.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
That's all I know.
Yeah. That's more than I know.
Pretty sure that your area code is 940.
Yeah.
Just because I know where you live.
Right.
But that doesn't mean nothing anyway either, because Heather, who lives north of Dallas, her area code is 940 also, because when she lived here, she got her phone plan.
Right.
She continues with the same phone plan because she's happy with it.
Yesterday, I'm sitting at work, and I get from 2 different apps, my weather app and my neighborhood app, I get notifications of this severe winter storm is going to hit us tonight. And then I got 3 emails.
Well, I've got rain. We've got a good chance of rain, but the temperature don't get below 45 or 47 degrees.
Yeah, and that's what I saw.
So you can't call it a winter storm.
Well, yeah, they actually said between 3 and 5 inches of snow. You know what I think? I think it is the Texas Grocers Association that keeps putting this stuff out. Because every time they do this, there's a run on the grocery store.
Groceries and gas.
Yep.
Groceries and gas. Let's hurry up and get some water. Lots of it. All of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All of it. And fuel everything up, including the weed eater.
Now you got to be careful doing that, because the government will see that you are hoarding water, and that makes you a domestic terrorist. Hey, you want to do scripture today?
Go ahead.
All right, scripture of the day, Romans chapter 12. By the way, today's scripture of the day was selected.
While you read this scripture today, I want everybody to be thinking about what's going on in our world today.
Sure.
Versus what went in on our world 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And how the mindset has so altered and changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, we're not the only ones God's not the only ones trying to get us to renew our minds. The devil counterfeits everything.
He sure does.
Everything. Go ahead.
Today's scripture of the day was actually selected by my much older brother.
Better looking too.
You know, there's a much for every year. That's how I count.
Oh, is that how you calculate that?
Yeah.
And there's also way better looking.
Watch yourself. Way
better looking.
Romans chapter 12, beginning verse 1. We're doing 1 and 2. Paul starts off and he says to the church at Rome, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may be able to prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. I love that verse.
I do too. And
do
man,
not be conformed to this
world. And you know, this world is what I'm talking. That's why I pointed to this verse this week. Is the world, the mindset is so different than when we were children. You know, we say a lot of things.
Well, evil.
It's satanic.
It's evil.
There's an absolute attack on our children.
Yeah.
They're trying to depopulize us through all kinds of different craziness. It's not just the Bill Gates thing and whatever.
Right.
You can believe that or not believe that. But if you look at what they're doing to this generation of young kids right now, they're castrating them and fixing all of them.
Right.
Or trying to get a big part of them. The trans movement.
Fentanyl come over the border by the ton.
Well, just the trans movement, Clay.
Right.
If you transition from boy to a girl, you can't reproduce.
Yeah.
And same thing with a girl to the boy, you can't reproduce. You take them puberty blockers and that not only do they have no idea what it means long term, but they know for sure that it ruins your reproductive organs.
Right.
And you can't even, not to be graphic or nothing, but you can't even enjoy sex.
Well, and then
there's no climax to sex. It says now I'm just reading what I've read.
Right.
It says it eliminates your ability with a man to have an erection and to reach a climax, and a woman too.
Right.
And you know,
well, and much less when you send them to the hospital and carve them up.
Well, yeah, when you start carving parts off of them, that's for sure going to stop it. And then the huge push for abortion, it's like they're genuine trying hard
and then there's
to eliminate population.
There's another thing in the whole trans thing, and that is the just extraordinarily high suicide rate among them mixed up kids. Well,
you think about it though, Clay, it's like they're indoctrinated into a mental disorder.
Yeah. And instead of treating the mental disorder, you play along with it.
Well, you encourage the mental disorder. Yeah. It may not have been
because these hospitals are making so much money off of it.
Oh God, I know.
Did you see that video that hospital administrator that was talking about that at a conference?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, she was standing up there, listing how much money they've made off of transition surgeries just this year.
That's just evil and demonic.
It is.
Just attack.
And then going back to the abortion thing, that's a cash cow too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They're slaughtering children
and will
make you millions
and make money off the parts of those children.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
It's horrific. It's just horrific. It's an absolute. And the mind change, the mindset of the not just American people, it's the world.
Right.
It's the world, man. It is so drastically different than when we were teenagers.
Right. Oh yeah.
Or when we were in our youth. It is so when we were in our youth, you could turn your kids loose in the morning in the summertime.
Yeah.
And not see them all day long, and
we would get up in the morning,
be gone,
and immediately jump on if we weren't on a restriction,
or didn't have some chores. We had to cut grass or clean the garage out.
We would be on our bikes, and we wouldn't be back home until the street lights came
We
on.
rode around and looked for stuff to set on fire.
Yeah,
literally. Literally, we rode around,
or we'd take our fishing poles. We'd ride out in the country.
We still setting stuff on fire out there.
Oh, true, yeah.
We set stuff on fire.
Lloyd's always been a pyromaniac.
Everywhere we went, I at least had a backpack of matches or a lighter,
right,
and something got burnt.
Yeah,
and there was always
like a centerpiece of the table.
Now that was not my fault.
No,
that was that flower. You know what? I should have sued them flower people.
Them dried flowers.
That dried flowers. Who's going to put a hazard like that in front of a 15-year-old boy with a lighter?
That's right.
That's just wrong. That was entrapment, I think.
Oh
Lord, let's tell that story.
Oh,
another day.
So this week.
So what do we got to talk? Is there anything going on in our world today?
You know, it's such a boring world right now.
I know. Yeah, I know. Let's see. Our president has grown.
Don't go there yet. I got something for that. This week,
I'm going to brag on Biden.
I know. This week, we're going there, but
okay,
and you can do yours.
I got one.
But I got mine.
I got one.
You're
not listening to
my
me.
house.
You're not listening to
my
me.
house. My rules. My house.
This is my area. I'm occupied.
This week, Biden's own. You can be triggered. Biden's own Department of Justice special counsel has declared that the President of the United States is a sympathetic, good-intentioned, elderly gentleman with a very poor memory.
This is the guy that carries the nuclear football?
That's the one.
Makes decisions for all of our country.
That's the one.
That could affect the entire world.
That's the one. Who in his press conference after this report came out, told Peter Ducey, "My memory's so bad that I'll let you speak."
I see that. And then you hear our wonderful press secretary. She said, him referencing dead people in his speeches, that's normal.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Normal.
Everybody does that. She says, everybody, all the candidates, all people in office.
It is a doggone shame that the president of Mexico will not open the gates to help out the Palestinian people.
Well, he's dead and was in France. He really was in France, and now he's dead. And it's kind of, he's been dead for 32 years. Rough time. Hey, man, I hear they're going to honor Biden.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the American team, the Olympic team, the bobsled.
Yeah.
Crazy fools, they get on that. That's neat, dude.
That is.
I mean, they're running. That is wild.
Yeah.
And they're going down that thing. It is just Katie bar the door, baby.
Oh, man. Just grease lightning.
Well, they are going to name their new sled Biden.
Are they?
Because nothing has took America downhill faster. Nothing in history has took America downhill faster. They figure if they slap Biden on that thing, they're record setting. Gold is ours.
You know what's amazing to me? All throughout the second half of Donald Trump's first term, the Democrats were screaming and pounding the drum, 25th Amendment, 25th Amendment. He's not capable of being the president because he walked slowly down a wet, slick ramp one time.
Yeah. We got bike riding Biden.
Yeah.
Stair climbing Biden.
Who has been declared by the Department of Justice as senile.
Who falls upstairs.
In that report.
I have fell downstairs.
Yeah.
I have fell downstairs. One time I fell down a whole flight of stairs.
Yeah.
Lost my footing. I was carrying something too.
Oh, yeah.
My feet went out from underneath me and down the stairs. I went down a whole flight of stairs. And, dude, I beat myself plumb up. I was lucky I was a young guy. I have never fell up the stairs.
Right?
Never.
No, it's amazing. In that report, what is his name? The special counsel, Han, I think it is. Anyway, he in his report, it's talking about when they were interviewing Joe Biden, and Joe Biden couldn't remember the dates of his term as vice president, and at one point even asked, "Am I still vice president?"
And he couldn't remember his son's death. That was sad.
Yeah.
Dude,
The whole thing is sad.
I've said this the whole time. You know, I don't agree with Biden, and I don't think he's a good person.
I've never agreed with him. I didn't think he was a good senator.
No, I didn't think he was a good.
Man's been a liar as long as he's been alive.
You're right. But what I think happening now is
elder abuse.
Is elder abuse.
Yeah.
I don't think he really has that much of a clue all the time of what he's doing or why he's doing.
Well,
and I think they're propped him up and putting him in positions that he doesn't know how to handle, and he's not mentally capable, and it's not his fault. This is not something that because of his lifestyle, he's not. It's not that he was a dumb man. He's been an intelligent man. He's been an educated man. He's been to a lot of colleges. 20 years ago, Clay, he could have handled this situation a lot better than he could now.
Oh, yeah.
His age has taken.
But the problem is he lied about his education.
He's lied about everything. He's been a lying. He's been a lying politician all his life. But he has been. Look, he's made an incredible living his entire life on the taxpayer dime. He's had intelligence that he no longer has the capacity of, and it's due to that age. And that, to me, is horrible. Whether you like the guy or not, whether you agree, whether you're Democrat,
I'm going to disagree
Republican,
with you on one aspect of that.
Just that.
It's not necessarily just due to his age. There's a lot of 80-year-olds that are sharper than a tack. Our mama being one of them.
There's a lot of 80-year-olds that are not, though.
True.
And dementia or whatever, I'm not a doctor, whatever may or may not be going on is just a problem of being an old guy.
Well, and so my point is not everyone that's in that age group.
No.
Donald Trump is sharp.
I've met plenty of 80-year-old men, but as you know, I did nursing homes for a long time, put roofs on nursing homes for a long time. I've also met 80-year-old men that thought they were astronauts.
Right.
And they weren't sharp, and it wasn't their fault. 10 years prior to that, they were on their game.
You had that one that thought he was the foreman of the crew.
He ran an oil field crew his entire life, and he got dementia.
Yeah.
And
he'd stand every
morning he thought he was going to work, and he would come out in his little robe, and he would go to work, and he'd tell us what to do, and he was telling us how to drill oil, and we were putting the roof on the building. Yeah. And he was happy as a clam. Sure. But he was not in his right man. We loved the guy. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
I would not have put him in charge of my finances.
No. Absolutely.
I would not have put him in charge of what we getting for dinner that day.
Right.
I would have invited him to dinner.
Right.
But I would not have propped him up in front of a host of people and had him answer questions. That's horrible. And like I said, I don't think Biden has been a good taxpayer since he first was ever anything.
Yeah.
He's been horrible. I think he has stolen and robbed from the taxpayers since probably day 2.
Well, and
maybe not day 1.
Used his office to enrich himself from Russia and from Ukraine and from China.
I think
which explains a lot.
If the corruption ever truly all got exposed, I think everybody on the planet would be shocked.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, man, I think the guy's being just used and abused right now.
I agree.
And it's getting to the point where this is abuse.
And here's the sad part.
And it's got nothing to do with whether he's right and wrong or which side he's on.
Right.
It's got the fact that he's just a puppet. And that's horrible.
And the sad part is he's still in charge.
And he don't know it.
Yeah.
So who really is? Did you watch Putin? Have you watched Putin?
I hadn't seen Putin.
You hadn't seen none of that? Who's really in charge of the government? Putin's got an idea.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of them 3-letter peoples.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no doubt. The deep state. It's interesting. It's sad. It's frustrating. You look at the that just tragic withdrawal from Afghanistan, and Biden came out in a news conference and said that the military generals didn't tell him that he had the option of leaving a small contingent of soldiers over there, and the generals came out and said we did too. We told him, and he refused to do it.
Well, let's put all of his, where I do kind of feel sorry for the fella, completely aside. Let's put the fact that didn't he already serve as vice president? Doesn't he already know the role of that office? Doesn't he have some years experience in some kind of congressional crap?
And then when
he's been a senator since when? Since 1901 and stuff. Yeah, I mean, him and Mitch McConnell there. I mean, you telling me they don't know the operations of that office?
Right.
That's just a lot more lies.
Yeah,
so sick of the blatant lies.
Well, when he was called out and asked about the classified documents in his garage in banker boxes behind his Corvette, he blamed it on his staff.
And he also said that all of them were always under lock and key. He said could be or were locked or had the capacity of being locked.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean, have the capacity of being locked?
I want to do a comparison. All right. You've got the home of a civilian who used to be vice president, used to be senator in Delaware, in the garage, in the basement, boxes and boxes of classified materials.
Oh, but in some boxes, the special counsel described as tore up, disarrayed boxes.
On the other hand, you've got Mar-a-Lago, which is this luxury property that is under Secret Service protection 24/7.
Gated, like a mug.
And documents were behind a locked door that the FBI requested another lock be added to, and it was done immediately. The first guy is not going to be prosecuted. The second guy is currently being prosecuted.
It's
amazing.
If anybody can't see the two-tier justice system we have, just look at,
it's not. Go ahead.
You got, first off, we know for a fact, nobody's even disputed it. Some of the classified documents that Biden had, he had as a senator.
Yeah.
That's as legal as me and you having it.
That's exactly right.
That's every bit as legal as me and you having it sitting right here.
Biden was not president when he took those documents.
He wasn't. And when he was vice president, he wasn't privy to that.
The Presidential Records Act does not cover the vice president, the senator, or the housekeeper.
For many years, he was in violation of that, of having that document.
And we haven't even mentioned what was found in the Penn Center.
No, that's which
was financed by China.
I know, which was absolutely funded by China.
Yeah, it's not a matter of
everything is the money.
It's not a matter of can't see the two-tier justice system. It's a matter of won't see.
And why?
Acknowledge.
Why not?
Because
everybody has a price.
Because
everybody has a price except Carrie Lake.
That's exactly right.
Everybody has a price except Carrie Lake. I
love Carrie Lake.
If I didn't like her before,
I
would have after that.
Yeah,
I'd have been like,
yeah.
When you find out you can't, that this politician can't be bought,
right?
But you got my vote.
I'm telling you.
I'm on your side.
It's
always about the money, though. Always.
She is so bold. Bold. She
will. You see where look here, Price Pfister got caught funneling $12 million to Anderson Cooper to promote the jabs in America.
Wow. So Pfizer's paying off news people.
No, our news is not corrupt.
No.
They're not one-sided.
No.
It's always about the money, man.
You know something that's interesting? And you saw a little bit of it before this report came out, but since the report has come out, the left-leaning news media is starting to call Biden out. And I think I think their handlers have given them permission.
And I think it is a march to Michelle Obama and Gavin Newsom being the president and vice president, respectively. Yes, I think Big Mike is going to run for president, and I think Gavin Newsom is going to be him, her, their, they, these running mate.
Yeah, interesting. And poor Kamala Harris.
You know what else? I got another prediction for you too.
All right, come on with it.
As I always think that.
Let's hear it, Nostradamus.
My conspiracy mind here. I think that with Super Bowl weekend, I think San Francisco is going to lose to Kansas City.
Yeah. And
it's not because Kansas City is a better team.
Okay. Yeah, you're going with the whole Taylor Swift act?
And I think Travis Kelce is going to propose to Taylor Swift, and that's going to set the Swifties on fire, and then Taylor Swift is going to promote either Biden or the Democrat Party.
Right.
And it's all for votes.
Okay.
It's all for votes.
All right. And you know, we'll see.
We'll see.
I don't.
I hope I am so wrong. I hope that San Francisco goes in there and plays a lights-out game and has a phenomenal game, and the winner is the winner. Right. I don't have a skin in the game either way. I would like to have a good game. I've seen so much stuff on the NFL. It's so weird, and it's so are you kidding me stuff? But anyway, that's just it would do my heart good for me to be wrong.
Yeah,
but I don't think I am.
Well,
and I think that the Swifties and the Taylor Swift things can all come and play, and I think that.
Well, and we've talked about this before.
It's celebrities, man.
Something is going to happen between now and November, and there's a good chance that the election's going to be suspended.
Well,
We've talked about
we're getting to the flip the board over time.
Yeah. It's either going to be another pandemic, or it's going to be an attack, or it's going to be something traumatic.
The grid going down.
Yeah, it's going to happen between now and November, and the federal government is going to say, now this isn't the time to have an election. We really need to handle this situation first.
Just like they suspended the election in Ukraine.
3 years ago,
and
hadn't done anything since.
Hadn't even tried to.
No.
Hadn't even attempted to. Hadn't even spoke about it.
Isn't that amazing?
Dude, have you not seen, let's talk about Tucker Carlson now.
Okay.
All right, they want sanctions against him.
Oh.
They want him for treason. They want him for, oh my God, the left is blowing, they're losing their mind.
Let's set the stage. Tucker Carlson went to Moscow, courageously, I might add, and interviewed Vladimir Putin. And the interesting thing about that is the media and the Democrat Party are calling Tucker Carlson a traitor and all of this other stuff. But there's a meme floating around. There it is.
I'm finding it right now.
Yeah. List off the names of reporters that have interviewed Putin in the past.
All right. I don't know all these people.
That's all right. Read them out anyway.
Well, it doesn't say them.
It doesn't?
No.
I thought it did.
No. I know Barbara Walters.
Yeah. Barbara Wawa.
Wawa. That was Walter Cronkite's there. Tucker Carlson. Who's that fella? He's super famous.
Oh, yeah. He used to work for Bill Clinton.
That fella right there.
Yeah.
He's been there. Y'all can see this whole meme. I'll just get up and show
There you go.
You see this whole little meme here.
These are all reporters that have interviewed Vladimir Putin. Pictures of them with him.
Yeah.
And yet somehow Tucker Carlson is wrong.
You know, when we were at Cold War with Cuba was going on, all that stuff with Cuba was going on. And Barbara Walters went over there, and I remember that as we was kids.
Yeah.
And she was
hailed as a hero.
And how brave she was but you
Castro.
You think about this, man. Tucker Carlson wasn't really, his safety in Moscow wasn't guaranteed.
No.
He when he goes, this is a different country.
Yeah.
You don't have no rights.
Well,
you don't have no freedoms. You don't have a voice. There's no due process. And if for any reason, it's like visiting the Indians back in the day. You went over and pissed the tribe man off, you might get strung out.
Absolutely.
And you can say the wrong thing. I know different cultures. You've done a lot of traveling.
I have.
There's things in different cultures that you can and cannot do, that you shouldn't and shouldn't do. And you can get yourself in trouble.
I'll tell you what, I got some really nasty looks when I was several times when I was over in Saudi Arabia because I'm left-handed. And I would be eating a hamburger, holding it in my left hand.
Oh, yeah, because that's their wipe
hand. That's their poop hand.
Yeah. He's like, I'm an old poop eater from Texas.
That's right. In fact, there was this one guy that these Bedouins would follow us everywhere we went, and they would set up these like flea markets, right, trying to sell us all their little trinkets and stuff. There was this Bedouin that refused to deal with me because he thought I was a thief.
Wow. See, culture though, man. Yeah. Culture. But anyway, so Tucker, goes over there.
Now, there's one other aspect. Let me throw
interview
this in
Mr. Putin.
Let me throw this in there. Another aspect of this. Tucker Carlson, as well known as he is now an independent journalist.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have the might of CNN
or
Fox News
paycheck
or something
power
behind him.
It's the money.
Yeah.
You don't have the money power no more.
That makes it even more dangerous.
Yeah, well, I can't control what you say. I can't control your question.
That's right.
If you work for me, you're going to do what I tell you to, or you're not going to work for me.
Right.
And that's
as evidenced by Fox News firing Tucker Carlson.
That's the hook.
Yeah.
And so, he goes over there independent style and sits down with I think he said it was a 2-hour interview.
Yeah.
And I watched a good portion of it.
Have you? Yeah, I haven't had a chance.
And at one time, you really got to want to stick with it. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You really got to want to stick with it because listening to Putin talk, it's just makes your ears bleed.
Right.
And he was talking about a subject which I did not care about.
Right.
But it's such a drag. Man, I hate even saying it. What a difference between the clarity of this fella and the clarity of all the women in my women or all women in my compartment are women.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
it's night and day. He started talking about like the Russian history from the 8th century.
Yeah.
And he knew dates, and he
Right.
chronologically moved up of where Ukraine stood in this, where they stood in this, traditionally, historically. He went. I mean, he didn't seem like a crazy warmonger. He also said several times that he wanted to put this to the table and come up with a peaceful deal, a peaceful agreement. But the 3-letter people in America were
Keeping it stirred up.
keeping the pot kicked.
Yeah.
And wouldn't let that happen.
Now, having said all that, I am going to say, just like Joe Biden, I'm not necessarily going to believe what Putin says.
Oh, God, no. God, no.
Yeah, he's a murderer.
I look back at the history of Russia and look at what he's done. I assume what he's done.
He was KGB.
And I don't think that's a good fella at all.
No.
I wouldn't put him in charge of things either.
No.
Not at all.
No.
But it just...
But cognitively,
he's, yeah. But it just strikes me so odd of why the Democrats are so against Tucker even going over there.
Right.
Hillary Clinton called him a useful idiot, a puppy, or Putin's puppy, or it's just like he's not a real journalist. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? He's one of the most respected journalists in the world,
Right.
whether you like him or not.
Right.
Geraldo Rivera, I think, is a moron and an idiot. He's one of the most respected journalists in the world.
True enough.
I don't like him at all.
No.
But I know, and I respect him as a journalist.
Remember Al Capone's vault?
Yes. I think he's an idiot. I watched him be an idiot for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he's an idiot. But I do have respect for his position as a journalist.
Sure.
He's one of the most well-known, well-respected, liked or not liked. You don't have to like somebody.
And he was an investigative journalist, which is why the whole Capone's vault. And I mean, he came out with some stuff. I mean, he's
done a great job.
Yeah.
That's why he's well respected.
Right.
I still think he's an idiot.
Oh, agreed.
My opinion, but my opinion means nothing about what his position is.
Right.
And once again, whether you like or don't like Tucker Carlson, he's still one of the most well-known, well-respected journalists of our time.
Right.
I mean,
agreed.
But they're trying so hard to discredit him before the interview ever took place.
Here's the reason that they hate Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Because he is a friend and supporter of Donald Trump. And here's the thing. If you support Donald Trump in this day and age, by the way, very nice mug.
Yeah.
If you support Donald Trump.
You can get these off the Etsy store.
In this day and age, then you are a domestic terrorist.
This will keep your coffee hot for 6 hours, too.
Yeah.
6 hours piping hot. 6 hours.
Nice.
It's still kind of steaming right now.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, you know, I think it's ironic and I want to say funny, but it's not funny. There's nothing funny about it. Very ironic and sad how the left is all about this equity and inclusion, and we've got to love each other.
Right.
If you think you're a cat, I'm supposed to pet your fur.
Right.
If you think you're a girl, I'm supposed to let you go to the bathroom with your beard and looking just like you are.
Right.
And go in there with my daughter and my wife. I'm
Sure.
supposed to be like, oh, we have to love him.
That's right.
I don't think so. I'm gonna kick you in the
But
junk.
if you're wearing a red ball cap, then you are to be hated with a righteous hatred.
If you even suggest that you're not lined up with their beliefs and their ideas, then all the inclusion stuff's out.
Hillary Clinton called for re-education camps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds real tolerant.
That's tolerant. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know,
that's how a republic is supposed to operate.
the president gets up there and isolates half of America and says that, you know, and the MAGA supporters, you know, just talks hatred to you.
Well, MAGA and Ultra MAGA.
Yeah.
Ultra MAGA sounds like some superhero comic book.
I think, yeah.
Ultra MAGA.
Didn't we used to watch some Ultraman?
Yeah.
And he had like a red suit with a big dot or something. Right. I can remember that vaguely.
Oh, my goodness.
I think it was right along there with Speed Racer.
Yeah. Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, came on all about the same time, man, right at the school.
And for those of y'all that are young enough to not know what we're talking about, I just feel bad for you because you didn't have a good childhood.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Speaking of which, if you like what you're seeing, if you appreciate the fact that we came back on a Saturday to make sure that we got our content put together for you because I screwed it up on Thursday. Then
I wasn't going to call your name out.
Well, I'm the editor, so if you like any part of this, like the video, comment, subscribe to us. We certainly love having you here. And you know what? Like Lloyd always says, if we say something you don't agree with, let us know.
Say, make a comment about it. We talk about anything, man.
Right.
I will discuss anything.
Anything.
Most anything.
Anything.
Most anything.
Almost. Yeah.
I'm not going to discuss stupidity. No. I refuse.
Well,
I'm too old.
That's all we do on this podcast.
Well, we don't discuss. We talk about stupidity. I'm not going to have a discussion on why you being a cat is a good idea.
Yeah, no.
Not having that discussion.
No, of course
I'm not having a discussion on why there's a MAP movement. Have you heard this? In California? There's a MAP movement where you're supposed to be allowing your children around.
Right. Yeah.
You hear about the 50-year-old swimmer in Canada? 50-year-old swimmer identifies as a 13-year-old girl. Yep. He doesn't just identify as a girl,
but a 13-year-old.
This pedophile, yeah, I said it. He identifies as a 13-year-old girl and wants to be in the swim meets with them.
Right.
Why? Because they change their clothes, they shower, and they wear bathing suits.
Yep.
You little freak.
Yep.
You sick freak.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you what, man. I don't know what's wrong with the Canadian people. I don't know, but I know for sure, at very minimum, my daughter would no longer swim on that team.
That's
absolutely. At minimum.
Absolutely.
Probably she won't no longer swim on that team because daddy's going to do jail time.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
Probably that's what's going to happen. But at very minimum, she would not be on that team, and I would be rallying with those other parents and saying, you know how we shut this down? We leave that little freak the only one on the team.
That's right.
We let him have it all to himself. And these people that are making money off our membership, off our daughter swimming, no. We'll go do it over here.
Yeah, we'll start our own. Start our own.
I don't know how it works in Canada, but I know that you don't have to spend your money. That is ridiculous.
That's right. Now, for those that may not know the terminology, my brother just mentioned the MAP movement in California. MAP is an acronym, and it stands for Minor Attracted Persons. It's a euphemism for a pedophile.
It's a way to desensitize and not make the word pedophile seem so harmful.
Right,
that's what they said out loud. They said, pedophile, the word pedophile seems so hard. It has such a bad stigma on it. Well, that's because you're touching little kids, you freak.
Yeah.
It needs a
bad stigma.
The reason it's not the word pedophile. It's what pedophile does.
Yeah.
If the English language would have come up with that word to be, I don't know, key.
Yeah.
The word key doesn't have a bad stigma, but if that's what we identified as, if you were a key, you were somebody that raped little children.
Now we got a new word, MAP.
MAPs, and that's just as horrible as pedophile.
That's exactly right.
So you can get rid of the word.
BACA?
Who?
BACA. It's a motorcycle organization, and it's called Bikers Against Child Abuse. It's an acronym. And these guys, hard-looking bikers, man. You know, I mean, these are bikers. These are real deal bikers.
Right.
And what they do as an organization is they protect kids. If there's a child that's been abused, and it's kind of like the Patriot Guard, the parents can reach out to BACA, and BACA will come and sit outside their house. They will go to court with them. They will ride them to court on their motorcycles and then bring them back, escort them 50 deep, and fill the courtroom.
Oh, that is so cool. That's the America we need to get back to.
There was an interview with a little girl, and somebody, whoever it was, asked this little girl. She says, "Are you not afraid to confront your abuser in court?" And she says, "No, I'm not, because my friends are much scarier than he is." But I had a good buddy.
My friend. Oh yeah, it'd be bad. It'd be bad. I am kind of afraid. I'm afraid for him,
right? So a buddy of mine was rode with BACA when I was up in Missouri, and he had a T-shirt, and I love this T-shirt. And on the front of the T-shirt, it said, "What is the difference between a trampoline and a pedophile?" And on the back of the T-shirt, it says, "I take my boots off before jumping on a trampoline."
I love it. Well, shout out to BACA. Way to go, guys. Way to go. You know, I see a lot of that stuff. There was a kid that his dad was a cop and got killed. And it was his first day back to school.
Yeah.
And
I don't
know, it looked like 12 different police forces showed up.
Right.
to escort
lined
him.
The sidewalk.
Escorted that boy. They rode him on a cop motorcycle.
Yeah.
To school with a presidential escort in front and back.
Yeah.
Cops lined up down every road all the way to. I don't know how far it was to school, but it seemed like by the video that it was a decent distance, 6-8 miles. There wasn't any spot that wasn't a police officer or a representative of. The whole school was filled of it. This kid was just the love that poured out to this one kid.
Absolutely.
And the fact that these people took that time, and you know what, man, it didn't cost some people nothing but time.
Right.
But time. Right. And what a difference they made, not just in that man's young man's life. They made a difference in my life by watching it.
And that whole community.
Whole community. Well, I'm just way over here.
Yeah.
And they made a difference in my life.
True enough.
Everybody in that community, everybody that kid comes in contact from now on, he'll carry that with him.
Yeah.
He'll carry that love, and he'll that example of how we're supposed to be.
And that's fantastic.
That's good stuff.
There's so many good organizations out there that do stuff like that.
And there's a lot of good people too, man. You know, I watch a lot of these stupid videos and I get so aggravated sometimes. And then I don't know, I blame it on God. All of a sudden I get on the string of videos that
are all positive.
Oh my God, positive. Last night there was a whole bunch of there was this little autistic boy, and he's little. I don't know. He's 6, 7 years old, little. And he can't wait for the daggum trash truck.
Yeah.
And he's fascinated by the trash truck. And I just gonna say it like it is. He's a little white kid.
Yeah.
With a little white mama.
Right.
And the trash guy, the guy on the back of the trash truck is coal black as he could be. I mean, and according to our society, we're not supposed to be even close to each other, let alone like each other. That kid can't wait for that man to show up. and that man can't wait to get to that stop.
Yeah.
And he brings presents to that kid. The kid brings him cookies, and it's like an exchange.
Right.
They're hugging and loving on each other. They love each other as much as any two siblings or parents or anything else loves each other.
Yeah.
It's because they're two genuine human beings that's made a connection. Why can't we just get back to that, man?
Right.
They've made a connection and they love each other for the reason that they are, because they are.
Because in the minds of half the nation, you and I are deplorables. We're white supremacists. We're
racist for sure.
We're racist. We're cisgen white supremacists, domestic terrorists.
I'm a throat puncher.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, first person calls me a cis male, I'm punching them in the throat. I think that's what that means.
Yeah.
Is that not what it means?
Yeah, it means punch me right in the face.
I thought that's, I thought that was
Latin.
Well, I thought it was liberal. Is that Latin or liberal? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was Latin or liberal. Please punch me in the throat. And if you didn't do it, it's an insult.
Right.
That's really what I thought it meant.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be, if I'm wrong, y'all tell me in the comments.
So I got a question for our viewers on this topic. And my question is this. Have we as a nation gone too far that we're not going to be able to come back?
No.
Have we gotten to the point with the hatred between the liberals and the conservatives? How are we ever going to come back to the table again?
Well, I'm going to tell you the only way. It's through Christ. That's it. That's the only way. But we're never too far gone. You're never. I don't care. I believe in the human spirit. And I believe in the good in humanity.
Right.
And I truly believe that with God, everything is possible. Absolutely. And we can come back from this.
Yeah.
We can turn this around. We can get rid of the hate. We can get rid of you got to get rid of the machine that's pumping the hate in on the constant.
Yes.
But dude, you look around, you start looking at these videos. I'm seeing black men and women getting on the videos and just saying, white people, I don't want to hate. I don't hate you.
Right.
If you don't hate me, comment. I'm commenting on every daggone one of them. Man, come to my house.
Right.
Come by my house. You come to,
Yeah.
We got to get rid of what the government's feeding us.
And they're feeding us. And the media.
Well, that's the government, in my opinion, dude.
Good point.
The government feeds the media.
We see all of this black on white crime on the news media, and it's all happening in New York, in Chicago, and it's not happening in Burke Burnett, in Wichita Falls, and Iowa Park.
But they're affecting it here.
Yeah.
And I once again, dude, I think, look at the Black Lives Matter protest.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you remember that all of a sudden there'd be pallets of bricks show up?
Yeah.
Who did that?
Right. Right.
Who did that? Who's
supplied that?
instigating that?
Uh-huh.
You get people upset and then provide them with weapons. You're fueling this explosion that goes on. Emotions run high, and you can agree or disagree with Black Lives Matter. It's not even the point.
Right.
But you get people in a protest situation where they feel like they've been wronged, and then you got an opposition, and then you provide weapons to one of those.
Right.
You have a volatile situation that you're just blowing the fire. You're just trying to create, and that's what went on. And
this is all speculation on my part. I have no evidence to this. But what I'm going to suggest is, as they say, follow the money. George Soros is involved in that somehow.
Without a doubt.
You know, I mean, that guy taking over the DA's offices of all these counties and essentially legalizing crime.
Yeah.
You know, in California, the theft value that you're allowed to steal in a day's time or at a time is up to $900.
No, it's went up $950 now.
$950, yeah.
$950.
Yeah.
They've increased that, and it's not a day.
No, it's an occurrence.
An occurrence.
Yeah, I can hit Walgreens for $950. Put that stuff in my car. Go hit Walmart for $950.
You can roll into a strip mall with a pickup truck and just fill it up right down the road, and just visit every store.
That's right.
I'm going next. No, this is only 800. I've been scanning. It's only 800.
Yeah.
I'm going next door though. They've got some. I'll be back though. When is this back in stock?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're not even arresting them because it's not getting prosecuted.
Right.
You were law enforcement.
Yeah.
If every time you arrested somebody for, I don't know, we'll say jaywalking, that's about as petty as you can get. The prosecutor was like, "You got to be kidding me," and drop the charges. And drop the charges. And drop the charges. And we're like, dude, we're not prosecuting that ever.
Right.
You'd eventually be, unless you just had a axe to grind with that individual.
Right.
You'd quit issuing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it would be an absolute waste of your time and effort. You're trying to do whatever on the streets. And I know I picked jaywalking just as a petty crap. But you're trying to do what you can on the streets. And the time you're taking up, you know how long it takes to arrest somebody, take somebody to jail, book them in, do all that process, do that paperwork, and then finally get back out in the groove of things and doing your job.
And every time an officer arrests somebody and has to go through that hour and a half to 2 hours, even sometimes even longer, that's one less cop on the street.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So before you've wasted a third of your shift before you ever got back to work.
Right.
So eventually, a cop with any kind of sense would be like, I'm not going to waste a third of my shift for that crime that they're not going to prosecute. Right. This is just, unless it was cold outside and I just, you know what, I can get to the station and do all this paperwork in the heat.
I had a dozen people at least that I know that I've arrested 10 times or more. I would arrest them, take them to jail. They'd get out. I'd arrest them again, take them to jail.
Revolving door.
Yep. Absolutely. And that was back, in the 90s before things were the way they are now.
Now we can assault a police officer in New York.
Right.
And get on a bus.
Get on a bus for California. Yeah. Did you hear about the 15-year-old
shooter?
Illegal alien that shot a woman in the leg and then shot at cops?
Yeah.
And they took him alive. They didn't shoot back.
I don't want him to shoot anybody. I'm glad they didn't shoot him back.
I know why.
But I do too.
Yeah,
it's optics.
No, it was the third universal firearm safety law, or fourth universal firearm safety law.
Didn't know
what's behind your target to the left and to the right. There were people around.
Right.
So these cops, while they're being shot at, took this dude into custody without firing a shot because they didn't want to endanger the public.
Kudos to the cops.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, and then that's going to be counted in the gun crime. That'll be another.
Oh, yeah. That's a mass shooting right there.
Yeah.
Because there were other people around.
Yeah. The inflated numbers, man.
I'm telling you.
The inflated numbers.
It would be easier for us. Well, it'd be the shortest podcast we ever did is if we decided, all right, today's topic, which we very rarely have a topic, but we're usually all over the place. But if we decided, all right, today's topic is we're going to discuss all the parts of government and society that are not corrupt.
Thank y'all.
Red River Cowboy Church is not corrupt. I can say that.
Yeah. and it's not part of our government.
No.
That's why.
Yeah,
That's the only reason.
No doubt.
If
right.
it was, if the government had a hand in your church, Clay, there would be some part of your church that was corrupt.
No doubt.
There'd be, if you just have to kick the books and look around, there'd be somebody in there.
Well,
sucking down the pork.
And see, I'm gonna say not all churches can say that.
Well, no, there are. And unfortunately, there are.
A lot of them. Who was it? I heard somebody say. Somebody said that the distinction between, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember the exact quote, but the distinction between real God-following churches and corporate churches was made in 2020.
Yeah.
Churches that shut down for an extended period of time versus those that stayed open.
Yeah.
We never shut down.
Right.
I refused. Even at that point where there was a genuine threat that I might be arrested for that, I still didn't shut down.
Well,
now I will say this: I did encourage our elderly to watch from home,
right?
Because I didn't want anybody to. I mean,
well, there's a couple things happening. First off, neither one of us are doctors.
No.
Neither one of us are scientists.
No.
And there could be a chance that this coronavirus or whatever could have been passed to one of your elderly people. And then the other side of it is the fear.
Do you trust God or not?
Well, the other side is the fear that these people have that's been fed to them by the media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a genuine fear. And it was a false fear, but it's still genuine.
I went into a convenience store yesterday, and there was this little bitty dude, wearing a painter's mask behind the counter. To this day.
I did see a couple of weeks ago, I saw a woman driving her car with a mask.
All by herself.
Windows rolled up.
Yep.
Had that mask on, and I was like.
I think my favorite video or meme that I ever saw was that old woman who had a mask on, and she would reach up, pull it off, take a puff of her cigarette, and put it back on. And the kid swimming in the pool with his mask on.
The kid swimming in the pool, and the high
school. I think that was put on.
The high school band
with the holes cut in it so they could play.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was, oh my God, intelligent.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you.
Oh my God, intelligent.
Oh.
There was a grown person.
They came up with that.
That said, okay, listen, we've got to wear our mask, y'all, because it says the governor said we got to wear a mask. So here's what we're going to do. I'm a genius. And I've decided we're going to, if the hole is only cut where the instrument goes, the mask will still be, it really
effective.
Was. It was
just as effective. That's right.
It really and truly was. Maybe they were a genius. I'm sorry. Y'all had it going on. Yeah.
I've always said if my Fruit of the Looms and Wranglers aren't going to stop a fart, that mask isn't going to stop a virus.
And Thursday, when our podcast messed up, you were handing out Corona tests.
That was a public service right there.
You were handing out a Corona test
That's right
then.
That's
I did not have Corona. And my tear ducts worked good too.
Yeah. I'll tell you what,
sweat glands and everything.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of you, me, and Dad.
Crammed in that stupid little truck.
Cramped in that stupid little Nissan truck. Him chain smoking and farting and the heater rolling. And we're not allowed to crack the window.
And he was a machine.
Oh, my gosh.
That man was a fart machine.
Oh, my goodness.
Paint peeling fart machine.
There were times that I almost thought I was going to throw up in that truck.
There were times that I thought I was going to black out.
And we're talking a 4-hour drive to the
Deer Lease.
Yeah. Goodness.
Smoking them Vantage ultra longs or ultra slims, whatever. Vantage ultras.
Is that what they were?
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, I used to steal them.
Chain smoking them things.
I used to steal them. He was easy to steal cigarettes from because there was no way he could keep up with how many cigarettes he smoked a day.
Right.
No way. If he went through a whole pack and didn't know it, he'd be like, well, give me another one.
Yeah. Right.
There was a couple times I seen him misplace a pack. He's like, I don't know what I did. Got another one. I'm like, yep, that one's going with me. I'd hide it out there by the wood pile and go out and puff them cigarettes by the wood pile.
Yeah.
But then when it got cold, I take him upstairs. Remember we had them fans
in the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
Yep.
And I got caught doing that. Well, because I'm stupid. I was smoking them and throwing them out that fan.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they would shoot. The fan would send them out the window.
Right.
Well, if you throw them all from the same location,
they pile up
in the same location down below.
Yeah.
And one day, Mom said, "Why are all these cigarette butts out here?" And she was about to get on Dad, and Dad come over and he went.
Trajectory.
And our military father figured that trajectory crap out real fast. Yeah, I got in trouble with that one.
Yeah. I remember he caught me with a can of Copenhagen and set me down in the den with a tablespoon. Made me eat a can of Copenhagen.
I had to do it out in the backyard.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean.
Well, because when he first did, he said, "You want to dip? Dip." Okay.
Right.
I got that can. Put me a big old dip. He said, "No, no, no. Keep dipping. All of it." I'm like, "You're only supposed to put a little bit in you." He said, All
of it. Yeah.
All of it. Gone. Every bit of it gone. Okay, this is a different problem we have.
Yeah, yeah.
All of a sudden, this doesn't seem so cool.
Oh, man. Lee T, we
often say it every day.
Yeah, we've often said it, though. I think it's merciful that he is not here to see what's going on in our country right now.
But I can't help but say, though, that anybody listening, tuning in, if you haven't spoke to your dad for whatever reason,
right,
man, begin to heal. Forgive him or whatever. Yeah. Just reach out. I don't know. I couldn't explain to you what it would mean to me to be able to call my dad right now and tell him about a rough night I had.
Right.
Or ask him his advice, even if I didn't want it.
Right.
Even if I had no intention of using it. Or just go sit over and listen to one more of his stories.
Yep.
One more.
Same story.
Again.
That's all right.
Or go over there and watch a Dallas Cowboy game where Dallas wins. I would love that.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love watching a game where Dallas wins.
And then he would aggravate you.
Watching him go off and aggravate me and telling me, turn off the lights, the party's over.
Right.
I would, and I can't stand when Dallas wins.
Oh,
but if I could enjoy that game with him one more time. So if your folks still alive and you don't.
That's why we love our mama the way we do.
You're right. You don't reach out, man. One day you'll wish you would have. It'll be too late.
True enough.
Be too late, man.
I was throughout my life, I was blessed to have 4 parents and 8 grandparents.
Yeah.
Mom's the only one left.
Wow. Yeah.
All 3 others of my parents are gone, and all my grandparents are gone.
Oh yeah, because you're old.
Yeah.
Because they'd be really old.
Right.
How old would Grandma Thomas be?
Oh, I don't know.
She was in her 90s when she died.
Yeah,
And she died 30 years ago.
She died in 92 or 93.
Yeah, she'd be 140.
Yeah.
Looking good, Grammy.
I did her funeral.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what else we got today to talk about? We're getting all gloomy here.
Well, we are bumping up on our quitting time, but one thing I think we ought to close this out with, and I always appreciate this about you. You always remind people to be kind. And we were talking about. I brought it up. Is it too late? And I've told this story before, but when the BLM folks were protesting the statue in Wichita Falls, and I went and stood in support of that statue. Got into a conversation with this young lady that was a BLM young lady, and spoke to her, respectfully, and she did as well. And we had a really good conversation, and I think just maybe, her mind might have been slightly changed. I know her
about your opinion about you,
about me, because all of a sudden I was no longer a racist in her mind,
or this threatening human being. I mean,
and
that's what we don't have is we don't have the conversation.
Right.
We're taught how to, or we're told how to think. We're told how to do, and we don't have the conversation. There is no conversation with anybody that's on the liberal side.
Right.
And
Well, because they can't defend their position. You can't defend the wholesale slaughter of babies in the womb.
No.
You can't defend carving up children because a little boy seems effeminate. You can't defend an open southern border.
You can't defend men openly walking in women's environment.
Right.
I mean,
competing on women's teams.
Then it's just ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Apparently, the Olympics are going to allow trans swimmers to compete.
See, that's just it ruins it.
Yeah.
To me, it just takes all the integrity out of everything. It just ruins it. You know, I heard Donald Trump say one time. He said, "I'm not a LeBron James fan. He's a good player.
Yeah,
but personally, he's just not a big. I'm not a huge LeBron fan either. He's a good ball player. I mean, you know, if I was picking a team, I'd have to pick him.
Yeah,
I mean, he's pretty good at his job." He said, "But I'd reach out to him and about a couple dozen other players, good players in the NBA." He said, "I talk them all into transitioning." He said, "And I'd become a WNBA coach." He said, "We'd win from now on."
That's right.
From now on, we'd win.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. We just don't have the. I don't know. Our world is so different, man. Our mindset. It's the way we think. We've got to change the way we think.
Yeah.
Our mindset is that verse
by the transforming of the
mind. We've got to, and we've got to get closer to God. I mean, our world is so entitled.
So how do you transform the mind? Well,
by the Word of God.
The Word of God.
The Word of God.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of you say, "Well, man, reading that Bible is like pulling teeth." Amen. Yeah. Amen. I have a hard time. I don't know if I'm dyslexic or ADHD or WRJ or MBY or whatever. But I have a hard time reading anything.
Yeah.
Just anything. I have to really read it, then I have to reread it, then I have to read it again.
Yeah. And that's why you like audiobooks.
But yeah, I can listen to, I've got a app on my phone, and I can listen to my audio Bible. And it's got one that dramatizes it.
Oh, yeah.
It like adds thunder and lightning and stuff to it and adds some sound effects. And it's, really like gets it going. I mean, but you listen to that Word of God, man, and it just, and listen to it taught to you. Mm-hmm. Tune into some preachers, but be careful what preachers you tune into.
I'm telling you. Speaking of which, one of your favorites made the news. Did you see that? Andrew Womack.
Oh, what did he do?
Yeah, they did an article on him in Newsweek this week. He said that if Donald Trump gets reelected, which he hopes he does, it could very well result in a civil war, and that might not be a bad thing.
Andrew, I like to. Yeah, man, I bet he brings that up. I'll watch his sermon today or yesterday's sermon tonight.
Yeah. Well, look up that Newsweek article.
I will.
Of course, you understand that Newsweek is going to have a slant to their reporting. And it may have been a partial quote or a misquote, but
he runs a college.
Does he?
Yeah, he runs a biblical college in Colorado.
Yeah.
And man, you know, he started out, you know, he listened to his story, and he's been in ministry for 55, 56 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's always been drawn to Christ. 7, 8 years old, he's got God's story.
Right.
You know, he's never been. He didn't grow up like me.
Yeah.
He didn't grow up, you know, smoking a little too much and drinking a little too much, and then, you know, get saved and realize that what you have done is horrible, but that's also made you who you are.
Right.
His story is a lot different, but it's still it's hugely impactful. He was actually going to college, and he wasn't affected by the draft because of his college. He was going to college. His whole family's teachers.
Yeah.
And he was going to be a teacher, English teacher, math teacher, whatever. Something. And he had that calling that he needed to go into ministry, and he needed to quit college. And he quit college knowing that he was getting sent to Vietnam.
Yeah.
And he absolutely got sent to Vietnam. And then from Vietnam, he spent several years doing ministry and starving, not eating right, just not making it. And then he got his little television ministry and started reaching more and more people. He still has that, but he started this ministry college, and it is a huge, huge campus. And it is all about just equipping the saints to go out and preach the Word of God.
There you go.
And then I just, you know, I said a bunch of things on this podcast before about different colleges and how I would not send my kid to no college.
Right.
I'd send it to his.
Right.
I'd send them to his, man. They're trying to build dorms now. They had to turn 600 students away this last year just because they didn't have no place to house them.
Right.
They're full. That's, to me, is fantastic.
Yeah.
If you've got
that many people that are wanting what you're giving.
Yes, wanting to learn that, and they're young people, man, and they're wanting that. And he said, you know, I hate turning people away, but if you can't house them, but they're building dormitories now, and you know, he said, I've gone from where I started to now, and he's like, I'm reaching billions of people. The potential to reach everybody on the planet.
Right.
We've never had. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
The gospel is being taught in all four corners.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. All right. Any closing words?
Take your time. Take time to be kind. Take a minute. Just take a minute. God, it don't cost nothing.
No.
It just don't. All I got something to announce. If you guys live in Wichita Falls and you need your hair did.
That's right.
Now, I'm going to go get my hair did next week, so I ain't going to show you. But if you need your hair did, you got to go to the Walmart on Lawrence Road in Wichita Falls.
That's right.
And go see
Spider. Ask for Spider.
If you ask for Spider during the month of February, I personally will buy you a cup of coffee if you get your hair cut.
There you go.
I will buy you a cup of coffee during the month of February 2024.
That's right.
I put out a little TikTok video with them yesterday. She was cutting Mama's hair.
Yeah.
And I put out a video, and I said, "This is Lululemon, aka Spider."
That's right.
And I said, if you mention her name, you can have certain percentage off. She's like, I can't do that. I said, okay, never mind. That's not valid. And I caught her boss was in there. I took a video of her boss, and her boss was waving. She's like, don't film her. I said, why? She waved.
Yeah, definitely visit the Lawrence Road Walmart. Ask for Spider. And
AKA Leslie or Lululemon.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Well, folks, as always, we appreciate y'all. Enjoy spending this time with you guys. And again, if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to us so you don't miss any of our future podcasts, even if they're on a Saturday instead of a Thursday.
That's all right.
And God bless you guys. We love y'all.
Bye.